Hello everyone. Since the XCMUS team is not able to attend the events, we represent them to talk about their work. So the team basically participate in the flood event analysis, and here's a brief overview of the task one. We need to build a classifier to predict whether an image is belong to a flooding event or not. So their approach is from the input image, they will go through a background segmentation to remove all the human and all the objects appear in the image, so that they can enhance the attention of the network into the backgrounds. So they put on the input image and the new image to an efficient net, and then concat the result from the efficient net to so that they can generate the result. For the second task, the problem they will need to solve is to build a binary classifier to classify whether the image is containing at least one person with the water is above their knee. So here's the overview of the pipeline. They have proposed multiple hypotheses on how to detect whether the water is above a person's knee. So I'll go through each stage of the method. For the first stage, they will develop a water-related image classifier to classify an image is water-related or non-water-related. With this one, they use a ResNet 50 trained on the place 365, and they manually label the images from the training datasets and build a fully connected network to classify whether an image is water-related or non-water-related. After that, if it is non-water-related, they will come on to the class level. And if it is water-related, we have to ensure that there's at least one person in the image. So they did the person detection. This is done by the Mask RCNN. When they only choose the person, the images that had only one person inside. After that, actually the person detection is not really really accurate for some cases because there's some part of the body is covered by the waters. So they further apply the OpenPose to estimate the poses. From the OpenPose, we are able to obtain the pose of a person. And with this, the authors also observe that there are some cases that the pose estimation is inferred. They automatically infer part of the body which is not visual in the image. And there are some cases that the reflection of the human body into the water is also considered as part of the pose. So they apply the Mask RCNN to segment the human out of those image, and the segmentation network is work quite well. So they just extract the part of the human body above the water out. So that is so by matching a pose with the mask, by applying the IOU score, they will obtain the pair pose and mask. After that, the author also built another water classifier to classify the whole image is water or non-water. This is done by cropping 1/3 area below the image out and manually divided it into water or non-water, and also build the classifier for that one. This is used for the prediction later on. So here are the prediction of the task. So they define multiple cases where the person is swimming. The hip key point is outside of the person mask. So the hip key point is outside of the person mask. So this is potentially the water is covering their knee. Also for the knee key point outside of the person. So here's mostly all the cases they have list out, and here's the prediction pipeline. If the image contain one of these conditions that I mentioned before, it will go to the image crop that they will crop 50 by 100 pixel below of the bounding box of the pose. Crop it out and then put it in the water classifier to classify if the pixel, the image below the bounding box of the pose is water or not. If it is a water, then that is the water above unique. If it's not, then it's go to the class 0. That also propose the method for the text model. They want to build a classifier for the text to see if it's also efficiency or not. So this is done by the Glove to make the word into the 300 dimension vectors and then put it in LSTM and CNN. After that, they concatenate the output of two network and put it in the fully connected layers. Yep. For the first start, I submitted 3 runs with multiple modification of the thresholds. And for the second task, there's multiple run with the run 2 and run 2, 3, and 4, 5. It's actually contains some information based on the text. And from the result, we can see that if the information from the text is not really improve the accuracy of the images, and it result in the first run is only from a pipeline, and we can achieve the best result. The author also have some analysis on the result and find out that there are some cases that is not work for the pipeline. For example, that the person detection is predicted at above, or the pose is failed to estimate a human pose, and there are some images that we cannot show if the image if the water is above the knee or not, which is a picture in C. And there are some cases that the water related images classifier is giving the wrong image, and there are some cases of a tiny people that we cannot fully inference. So thank you for listening.